Hello and welcome. As you probably guessed, I'm MotherAzure, but you can also call me Maria. I'm back in with our pick a card, finally. I'm so sorry I've been gone for almost a month. I think like 3 weeks. It was my final semester. That was the most insane month of my life. I just finished college, I think, for now, right? So I was so stressed and then I got sick. In fact, I'm still sick. I'm taking antibiotics. So I really couldn't do a video. I'm so sorry about that. But now we're back in business. I'm back. We're doing this again. And I will continue to do so always as long as it is a viable thing that I can do, right? As long as it's something that I have the time and the energy to do. So for this reading, what we're going to be looking at, I thought that it would be fun to see how your guides see you, what they think of you. I believe I saw this some time ago in an Esotero video, so go ahead and check out her channel. It's amazing. But I wanted to, do something like that. And we're also going to be seeing at the end if they have like a specific message for you. So it's not only how they see you, there's also going to be a message. So we're going to be using... These are the Major Arcana Cats Tarot. I believe that is the name. I forgot the name. But we're also going to be using another tarot deck, this one, and 2 Oracle decks. Just in each pile, I will be shuffling those in each pile, okay? So without further ado, let's get into your pile. So for pile 1, you have the hat. For pile 2, you have the key. And for pile 3, you have the tree. Hello, if you hit pile 1 with the hat, there's your reading. So I'm going to put the hat right there. I don't want it to roll away, so I flipped it. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this card first. So these are only Major Arcana, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And then I'm going to be using these to see how your spirit team sees you, what they think of you. And then we're going to be using the other 2 decks for a message, okay? But let's get into this one first because this is your main card. So you got the World. I love that. So this is a very positive view of you. That sounds like a tongue twister. So I think your guides, the way that they're showing up for me is that right now you may be at like a specific end of a cycle in your life. It may not be completely comfortable. So this reminds me of me right now because I just finished like a cycle in my life. I finished college, right? So it may be something like that for you. It could be the end of a job or just the end of maybe a pattern that has been going on in your personal life for a long time. This could be behavior. It could have to do with relationships, addictions, anything of that sort. So you're like at the end of it, and you are closing this cycle, whatever it may be for you. You are closing it, you're working on it. I'm not seeing you being done with it completely, but you're definitely at the end of it. So for me, it's like your spirit team is kind of cheering you on and letting you know that you are almost done, because that may be something that you're struggling with, like they're showing me that I think it's a cartoon. I'm not even sure what it is. It's like a comic of like the person, they are underground and trying to get 2 diamonds, and one of them quits when they're like this close. So what I think the reason they're showing that to me is to emphasize the fact that you're almost done. They don't want you to give up right now, right? And also, this is really wholesome. So you may have felt at times in your life, maybe right now, but it doesn't have to have been like right now. This could have been something previous, where maybe you felt like you weren't good enough, like you were lacking in some aspects, that there was something wrong with you in some way, but your guides don't see you as your failures or your mistakes or anything like that. They see you as a whole person, and I think the reason that is so important they're trying to convey this is because, like I said, you may not have felt good enough, in the sense that maybe you didn't feel, I don't want to say that you didn't feel human, but it's like for you there was this feeling of something being amiss, something missing, something, maybe a piece that wasn't there, something felt not right, or maybe this is what people told you, right? And also, there's this thing where people who have been through a lot in life, sometimes they think they're broken, or that may be the general view that society has of them. So a lot of poems and just writing in general refers to picking up the pieces and putting them back together. So that's like you have picked up all the pieces, so it's like you're whole again, even if the pieces don't fit like they used to, if that makes sense. So I feel like despite the fact that this is something that you know, that you have picked up the pieces, that you have rebuilt yourself and healed and all of this, there may still be that, tiny inner voice telling you that maybe you're still not good enough, that something is wrong, and blah, blah, blah. But no, they see you like as a whole person, the whole you, okay? And your guides don't hyperfixate on your mistakes or things that you may have missed or anything like that. They don't fixate on that like you do, or maybe other people have. So you don't have to worry about them judging you for it. So what I'm hearing is like they may sometimes think that there were better ways to do something, but they're not judging you in a negative way. It's like they see like the different ways this could have gone, or the different choices that you may have made, and them personally would have picked another way for you or another path. But that doesn't mean that they hate you or that they will smite you because you didn't choose what they thought was best. Because at the end of the day, you do have free will. You're free to choose, right? So let me get some more to see how they see you. I really like that, because it's very nice. It's something that I have struggled with as well, so I sympathize and empathize. I never know the difference between those two words. I apologize. Maybe I did like a little meditation before I started the reading for today, because it's been so long since I've done a reading. I haven't done a reading in almost a month. So I was like, I just want to get, in the correct space to do this. And the only thing I saw during my whole meditation was a butterfly. So that may be for you, that may be for all the groups actually, but this is like a big time of transformation and coming out of the cocoon, leaving behind the past, the life that can't exist anymore, right? My God, that was okay. I'm gonna get this one and this one because these are the two that are up, because I only wanted to get two, and those are a lot of cards. Oh my God. Okay, so you got, what is that? Okay, Leliel, Angel of Night. I can't read from here. And then Netza, right leg, Endurance. I think it does have to do with the butterfly thing. Sorry, I got excited. So the Endurance, again, they see you as someone who is very strong. I don't think that maybe you don't really see this strength within yourself, or you may question your abilities, but they see you exactly for who you are, which is, so again, exactly who you are fully, as someone who has been through a lot and is capable of pulling through in the end anyway. So again, it doesn't mean that it's any less painful, but you are more than capable of walking through the painful parts of your life and come out, maybe with a few scrapes here and there, but you eventually do come out and you move on, right? Because that's life. Shit happens and we have to move past it. And I think that you have truly become a master of that. Again, that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt and it doesn't bother you, but it's like you have become very good at transforming and going through personal deaths. That doesn't have to be a literal death. That's why I did like air quotes. just deaths and endings of things in your life, aspects of yourself, relationships, jobs, anything like that, right? And then with the Angel of Night, so I think this relates again to what I did before I even started the reading. So there's this kind of hope. So it's like, despite everything, you still remain hopeful and you look up for guidance. So despite everything, I think that at least at some point in our lives, people who are like spiritually connected, at least once, many people, I think, have resented the guides a little bit, or whatever entity they work with, because it's like, God damn it, do you have to put me through this shit? And some people may actually stop, and that is okay. I'm not judging them at all. That is their journey, and that's how it turned out. But it's like, for you, it's like they're happy that you still connect with them despite everything, and that you still listen to their advice, and you still look to them for guidance. And it's like, I think that it's this, because the way this is being shown to me is like a child looking up at the stars. So there's this sense of hope, and well, it's not exactly innocence. It's more like you haven't lost your spark, right? And there's this hope for the future that you still have, even if you don't feel it all the time, or you think that that you're going to give up, or that nothing's ever gonna get better. But you still, it's like you still preserve that little glimmer of hope, and they really see that, right? So they just see you as a very strong person, and I think they're congratulating you on closing the cycle, whatever your cycle is. It could be basically anything, but it's big because it's a world, right? So let's see if they have, any other message here right now that is more specific than that for you, that they, anything important that they want to tell you. Pile 1. Oh my God. By God. Okay. 2 of Wands. I'm gonna get 2 more. I'm really a sucker for the number 3. I just 10 of Cups. Oop. Okay. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. I'm looking at the camera because sometimes I can't tell like how big my frame is. I'm not used to it. Because this is not like stationary in one area. I have to set it up every time I do a video. So what else? Spirit Team of Pile 1. Well, that almost flipped, and I couldn't even see what it was, but it didn't come out, so I suppose that wasn't it. Let's see. And the Queen of Wands. There's a Tower down there. That didn't come up, but I think this really relates to the endurance here in Netta, because the Tower is like enormous change, and like I said, I think you have become a master at transforming and going through difficult things in life. You have developed this endurance. So you weren't born with this endurance, you made yourself strong. So, and I think that's very important. Like, they really want you to keep that in mind. You are not the way you are because of the things that happened to you. You are the way you are because you made yourself like this. Like this, like your ability to endure all of this and still come out relatively okay, right? Because we're never fully okay. That's something you did. Like, this is not a result of everything going wrong in your life or anything like that. It's that you have developed it. Just you have developed the endurance. It's like saying that an Olympic runner is just, they were born like that. It's like saying they are not committed and they don't train and anything like that. So there is a big part of this that is you. In fact, I think that most of it is you. So your ability to take on all of these challenges is because of who you are and who you have become as a person as a result. Because many people they encounter challenges and difficult things in their lives, and they shut down and they just stop moving forward. But you're not like that. You keep moving forward because that's who you are, and that's what you chose for yourself again. So So the message. I'm trying to see, why is that crooked? That's my question. Why is it crooked? That's gonna bother me. Give me a second. Okay. Alright, I think it's mostly not crooked. I don't know if it bothers me so much when things are not like straight. I don't know why. It just drives me crazy. So the actual message, like I said, the like the butterfly leaving the cocoon behind, right? We have the Two of Wands here. This representation of the Two of Wands, I'm pretty sure you can see that on the camera. There's a man with two heads. One is looking to the left, another one looking to the right. And to me, because the one looking to the right, well, my right, is holding a key. I believe one is looking towards the future and one is looking towards the past, right? While walking like forward in the present, right? So I think that what's the message here is that yes, you have moved past a lot of bad things in your life, or just difficult times or things you wouldn't like to experience again. But it's important for you to take things that you learned from those situations with you to inform your current decisions, while also keeping an open mind about the future. Because here's the thing, if you live completely in the past and you only like, when people start thinking that what happened to them in the past is the only thing that can happen to them. So like, for example, if they had a very bad like relationship in the past and they start thinking that every single relationship that they will ever have is going to be bad, they're not going to move forward or grow or be happy in that aspect of their life, right? So if that happens, what they're suggesting, this is just an example, maybe this happened to you, but I'm using this as an example. What they would suggest in that instance is instead of assuming that because that happened is the only thing that is going to happen to you, to maybe take whatever is valuable from that situation. Again, I'm not saying that things happen to you to teach you lessons. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. I, in fact, don't agree with that. Shit happens, right? But sometimes you learn something from it. For example, let's say that this person that you were with, they were very controlling and you kind of submitted to that because you wanted to stay with them. So you allowed them to control a lot of aspects of your life until you left. So what they want you to do with that is not think and say, oh, it's completely my fault. It's, I put myself in that situation, etc. Don't. What they want you to do is take that and, apply it to other relationships, in the sense that if someone tries to control you again, because you know that everything went bad in that relationship because you weren't happy, is to not allow the next person to control you. If they try to, leave them next, right? So that's the kind of thing that they want you to do here. Stay open to the future, being informed by your experiences in the past, but not letting them define how you look at the future. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Right. So I really like this here. I mean, you got the Ten of Cups. It's one of the happiest cards. But I feel that this card being here, especially along with the World up here, even though that's how they perceive you, like I said, you are at the end of the cycle. For me, this is like them actually telling you that you're going to experience this Ten of Cups, this emotional fulfillment, this happiness in your life soon. If you're not experiencing it right now, it will be there soon, either because it comes to you or because you create it, okay? And also with the Queen of Wands, it's like, to me, it says to create this for yourself. Again, you may have done this already. This doesn't mean that you have to do it alone, but they want you to put your happiness and your well-being first and foremost, okay? So I've heard people say, like, when you do this, like, oh, you're being selfish. I don't think that choosing your happiness is ever selfish. And if it is, well, fuck it, because why would you not choose to be happy? Like, and why would you ever choose to not be happy just to please somebody else? So it's between pleasing yourself and doing what you know will make you happy, and doing what someone else wants you to do because it will make them happy. I think there are certain relationships and dynamics where that maybe will be acceptable. Like, for example, when you have a child, you are responsible for that child until they are able to take care of themselves, right? So in that sense, you are supposed to choose what's best for them, and that may mean sometimes foregoing specific things that you want to do that you know you would enjoy at specific times. Doesn't mean that you have to do it forever, but I think that in that type of dynamic, it is important for you to take into account this other person because they are dependent on you. But when that's not the case, and these are just people who are outsiders, they have nothing to do with your life, you do not have to do jack shit for them. I'm sorry. I think it's important to have compassion and to be kind and to do all of that, but you can't let other people pilot your life. So what's important for you here in this message is to take control of that, to take control of your life fully. You may have done that already, but it's like, take control of it and create what you want. You don't have to wait for someone else to help you create what you want. You can start by yourself. Maybe you will meet someone along the way to help you. If not, you can 100% do it yourself, right? So, because I'm not reading anything into like relationship here, what I used about relationship was an example. But what, they just want you to keep going because you are almost past this whole cycle and something better is on the other side, right? I heard like, what is that song from I don't remember what it says. It's like to the dark side of the road or something like that. It's the song that Shakira sang for Barack Obama when he became president. I can't remember that song. If you look that up, you'll probably find it, but I can't. They're putting that song in my head, so maybe that has like that has a message for you, right? But I really can't remember what it's called. Is it Dark Side or Bright Side of the Road? I don't remember. I think it's from the dark end of the street to the bright side of the road, maybe? I could be wrong. I'm sorry. I really don't remember. So let me get you one more card to see what other message they have. And also with the Queen of Wands, specifically because this card is, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't have the guidebook here, this card is supposed to be the, I think it's Hawaiian goddess Pele, I believe. So the message that is coming along with that representation of this card as well is that they don't want you to be afraid to destroy a couple things in your life that have to go in order to create the life that you want. Now that's not literal, that's not literal. So they're not saying like commit arson, but it's like, if there's something in your life that has to go, don't be afraid to get it out. So yeah, so it's protecting. It's like, if they want you to become like fiercely protective of your peace and of your well-being, because nobody else, well, I didn't mean to say nobody else, that just came out, like nobody else gonna walk all over you again. So that may have happened to you, and that's why that came up. I didn't mean to say that. So let's get you one more. What else? Pile one spirit team. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's two. I only wanted one, but that's all right. Let's take two. So you got Lost Lands, Soul Memories and Gifts. Oops. Okay. And then Starkeeper, Cosmic Ancestors, Seed the Light by Staying Grounded. So, you have done this before. I mean, didn't I just say that you were like a master I was gonna say Transformer like the movie. No, you're not a robot. Like you're very good at transforming and moving past things. So again, if you ever feel like you are lacking in some way, or you feel unmotivated to keep going, they want you to kind of remember that you've done this before, which means you can do it again. And maybe in these times where things are kind of difficult for you, it's important for you to look at the things in your life that are gifts, that are positive, that make your life a little bit better. So to kind of, when you kind of shift the focus from what's 100% not going right to something that is going right, that is working for you, that's good, that helps, that will help you move past it. They just showed me a cat. It's like a grayish cat with green eyes, so maybe that's one of your pets. So maybe that's one thing that you that you can be grateful for, and that is going right, because you have a cute pet. Like, who doesn't want a cat? I love cats. So is that a calico? That's not the type of cat that it is, but I also heard that, so that may be another type of cat for you. Well, I do have cats here, but it's like, I don't know why it like suddenly I saw a cat. Reminds me of one that I had. It was like grayish and had like this little striped pattern on the back. Yeah, something like that. And then see the light by staying grounded. Again, they're emphasizing this. They want you to take care of yourself. Again, the focus is very much on you and in taking care of you through this time of transition. So at times you maybe feel frustrated with yourself because you want to move faster, but you can't. Completely understand it. Like, me too. That happens to me too. But they want you to understand that it's important for you to go through this period, because things were probably really fucking hectic before. Like, you deserve the rest, and by staying grounded, maybe it's, like they're calling for you to get into grounding practices. There are a lot of ways. Most people say, just hug a tree. I don't specifically have trees close to me, so usually what I personally do is do the whole 5 senses thing in psychology, which is just, it's like a psychological tool to ground yourself. And it's using your senses. So you look at 5 things you can see, you kind of describe them in your mind or out loud, however you want to do that. Maybe 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste, or anything like that. You can change those around however you want. So it's just kind of to put you back in your body and in your environment wherever you are, right? So something like that. I'm pretty sure if you Google it, you will find many other ways, but those are the ones that I personally know about and that have worked for me. You're always free to experiment, doing yoga, stuff like that, to connect with your body. So I think they're really calling you to do things that will put you in a peaceful state, and kind of bring back a little bit of balance into your life if things are very chaotic right now. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. We are back in schedule. Okay, so I'm going to be posting next week as well. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do love my episodes of the channel over there, and also go to my community tab. I can't fucking speak. I am so sorry. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Hello, Paul, too, with the key. This is your reading. I always forget the word key. That's weird. Like, I got stuck before when I was saying key. So let's look at, this is going to be the card to explain how your spirit team sees you. And also these cards that I'm going to be shuffling in like a second. And then we're going to be looking at any message that they want to give you. So I actually think the key is important now, because I've struggled to say key more than once. So I think with the key, it's important for you not to second guess where you're going. You already made a decision and you were clear when you made the decision. You may be getting like second thoughts right now, but you made the right choice. You know where you're going. Stick with it. Okay. I don't know why I want to say that, but I will. So you got the Chariot. So I'm laughing because I love the presentation. So you're someone who, like, your spirit seems to be someone who is in constant movement. You're not afraid to move forward. You're not the type of person to stay stagnant, to stay in the same place for too long. You are always ready for change. So the way I'm seeing this, it's almost like a very excited child. You know, when you tell a child that they're going somewhere and they're like, oh, and I'm gonna see this and I'm gonna do that, and blah, blah, blah. That's the type of energy that they're actually showing me, like a child right now. So I think that when most people look at change or life or anything like that, with weariness, weary, I don't know what the word is. When they are kind of scared or, you know, unsure of what to do, you are actually excited and ready to jump into it. So I think that's really refreshing. I mean, we're all different, but I feel like most people are not. When people are excited about change, I think that it's very, I don't know, most people I know, at least, which is why I was saying that, most people I know struggle with change and moving forward. My family, they're very naturally stubborn people. And, you know, me as well. I'm including myself in that. But to me, it's kind of refreshing to see someone who is not like that, who is the opposite, who is more spontaneous and ready to move. You're also, like they see you as someone who, again, like I said, a go-getter. Did I say that already? I don't know if I did. And who, I don't know why I heard lead an army. Are you in the military? But it's like, maybe just lead other people. Maybe people naturally follow you. Maybe you're very magnetic. And that's why that's coming up. But you got Hod, left leg submission. Oop. And Malkuth, ground the kingdom. So I think that you're someone who is, they see you as like very in touch, especially with your more physical side. So you may actually struggle a little bit to connect to your spirituality. Obviously you're here, so you do, but you may find it challenging at times. So they see you, it's like, I don't know, you know how some people say that, like, people like mediums and psychics, they're between realms, right? It's not that you're not, it's more like you fully embrace the physical realm that we live in as humans. So I don't sense a lot of escapism from you, because I feel like there's a very thin line between being spiritual and using spirituality as a form to escape reality. I'm guilty of that. That has happened. That happens to a lot of people. But I feel like, I don't know if it's that you don't struggle with it, or if you are able to come back down fairly quickly. And I think that it's in a way, the way they're showing this to me, it's in part because of your personality, and just because you like to see things, you like to see the world, you like to have experiences. So you are naturally very connected to your senses and the environment around you. So, because again, that is ground, the kingdom, and the left leg, the legs are, on the ground, So to me, that's like, well, you are spiritual, you are very much someone who likes to live in the physical, and that is not like a bad thing at all. because some people, I think they say like, you know, transcend, like the physical is just the physical. You're going to transcend and become something else, or, you know, reach nirvana or whatever you believe in. So they kind of see being like the physical world as something that is not that good, or that is limiting in some way. And I'm not saying it's not limiting, but I don't think it like warrants that negative view, especially when the way this is being shown to me is that you are someone who enjoys life, you love life a lot, and you are eager to, you know, have experiences and to just develop as a person. So you may also be someone, because the Chariot is related to the zodiac sign of Cancer. You may be someone who is also, like, they see you as someone who is very nurturing. So you may actually take a long time to get people comfortable, to get your friends comfortable, to get to actually know them, and to take care of them. And I don't think you confine that only to your like personal relationships. I think you do that as well with your spiritual relationships, especially like, you know, with your guides. You may be someone who you know, you may give them offerings often, or you may sit down and just talk to them often. And I think they really enjoy that, because you actually take time to put energy into this relationships. You know, their relationship with your guides, because at the end of the day, it is a relationship. So let's see if they have like a specific message for you. Ooh. King of Cups. Oh, those are two perfectly. That makes sense. Okay. So you got the King of Cups, the Moon, and the Five of Cups. So maybe that's why I felt like that energy. Even though that's the Chariot, I feel like this energy of slight stagnation or of contemplation, especially because of like the kind of expression that the cat has on his face. Barely an expression, but it gave me like that type of feeling. So you may be right now like at a point where you're experiencing emotional turmoil, because we have the Five of Cups. Not the King of Cups necessarily, but there's like a lot of emphasis here on emotions. There's water right here. And the Moon represents like confusion and sometimes deception, you know, the dream realm. Just things that aren't exactly clear. You don't have a clear view of things. Things are not being shown to you right now. And you're kind of not having a great time right now. So even though I described you as someone who is very lively up here, you may not be feeling like that right now. And I think that what's important about this as a message is that they don't want you to neglect these emotions, but they don't want you to, okay, so they want you to be able to differentiate between, okay, these are my emotions and I'm experiencing them because, you know, something happened, there's a specific situation in my life, but, and you know, and I should feel them, but I can't let them be the driving force behind my decisions in the situation. Because something, again, with the Moon, to me, it's saying that things aren't clear to you. And it's not like, again, your feelings are completely fucking valid. I don't want anyone to make you feel like, you know, to make you think that your feelings are not valid at any point. Yes, they are. But it's like your feelings may actually cloud your ability to work in the situation and to make the best decision for yourself. So they kind of want you to take a step back and feel those feelings before deciding anything, before doing anything. Because it's almost like, you know, when you cry and your vision gets blurry, like you can kind of see what's in front of you, but you can't 100%. Like if you were to walk while you were crying, you might walk into a wall, you know, especially if you're crying a lot. right? And you haven't like wiped your tears or anything like that. Yeah. So that's kind of what they're showing to me. So they want you to, feel those feelings, and sometimes that requires you to cry a lot. They don't want you to shy away from that. And once you do that, to kind of get your, recenter yourself, recalibrate yourself and your feelings, and then you can move on to, do what you have to do. Because while you're always on the move, sometimes you do need a time of rest and some time to stop and actually pay attention to yourself, instead of your environment. Because I just noticed that when I was talking about this up here, that it's like you're very connected to your environment and to the physical realm and all of that. But there was actually no real mention of you being connected to your emotions. So you may have a hard time with your emotions, and that's why they're so overwhelming from time to time. You may not like to feel negative emotions. I mean, nobody really does, but you may especially avoid these negative emotions and push them aside, but then you kind of explode because you're not actually dealing with them. You're just kind of compartmentalizing them. Is that the word? I think it is. I fucked that up so bad. So let's see. And what else is part of the message? Okay. So this is Breath of the Cosmos. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. So this card, I am going to lightly put it right there. I get so mad when like cards move. I don't know why. I like things to look kind of aesthetically pleasing. I don't like when things are crooked. That's just me being a crazy perfectionist. Okay, so the Breath of the Cosmos. This card, when it says "my will to thy will," I think that because you being like represented by the Chariot, how they see you as someone who's ready to go, you may sometimes not consider asking for help or asking for guidance before you do something, because you just decide immediately and then you go for it. I think that what they're asking you to do, at least in this situation, maybe in other situations as well, but like right now, they're asking you to kind of, how do I explain this? To let go a little bit while you're feeling these emotions, and to allow things and allow the universe and your guides to actually take the reins for a little bit. They kind of want you to let go of the horses for a second. They're actually like physically showing me like someone who is actually driving it like a chariot with the horses, and just grabbing the reins, tying them, to something, and just laying back and taking a nap, putting a hat over their eyes. It's like, wherever the horses take me, I go. So I think they kind of want you right now to allow yourself to be driven to where you need to go. Especially like if you're feeling like this emotionally, you're probably not feeling very motivated to be your regular usual go-getter self, right? Or to be the leader. So it's time to kind of switch gears for like a little bit, switch roles, and allow yourself to be guided. Okay, so of course, still trust your intuition, but I think right now is like a period where you maybe should take a step back for a little bit and take care of you, especially emotionally, because you really need it. Okay. And there's also like with the Five of Cups here that I didn't mention. The Five of Cups talks a lot about the past, and things that you regret, or things from the past that kind of haunt you, because this is like actually a representation of La Llorona. That's a terrifying tale. I'm not gonna talk about it. It actually terrifies me. So she's being pulled down. A child is holding her hair. So with that, there's also a message of letting whatever it is that is bothering you to, understand that it can't hurt you anymore, it's in the past, right? And it's important for you to just walk away, right? They're showing me the Eight of Cups is not here, but it's like walking away, go over that bridge like in the moon, just get to the other side and one step at a time from there, okay? But yes, while you are going through like the actual emotional process, you don't actually have to keep doing anything. Just take a step back and rest for a little bit, and things will kind of work themselves out. And if they don't work themselves out fully, once you are recovered, you will be able to, you'll be able to take care of them. Just take your time right now. This is your me time, okay? So that is all I have for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. We're still on regular schedule. I'm back in business, so I'm going to be posting next week. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do love my updates of the channel over there, and also in my community tab. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my cash in the description down below. I wish the best of luck on your journey, and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Hail for pile 3 with the tree. This is your reading. I usually also compare this to like a neuron, but I'm pretty sure it's a tree. I don't remember. It's from an old bracelet. So we're going to be looking at how your guides see you using this card, and also a few from here that I'm going to be shuffling in a second. And then we're going to be looking at a message, whatever message they have for you, that something they want to tell you right now. Okay, so let's see what you got. Temperance. I'm laughing because I really like these representations of the cats. So your spirit team, your spirit guides really see you as someone who you're very careful. So they're almost showing me like a child. There are some children that when they're first learning how to walk, some parents buy like the little walker thingies that they can hold on to not fall, to give them some confidence, and work their little leg muscles to get used to the action, supporting their weight. Some children, when you give them that thing, they go crazy and they just, I forgot the word. They run into the wall, they run into furniture, they go super fast, they fall. But then there are children that you give them that and they go super slow. They're so careful. They take care of, every single step that they take, they do with care, and they don't want to fall. They don't want to hurt themselves. They are super careful. They're not the type of children to be jumping everywhere and almost busting their head open. So that's the energy that they're showing me. I don't know if they're doing like the baby thing, but it's like you are very careful. You take your time with things, and they see you as someone who you may actually get stuck sometimes because you want to do things perfectly, or at least be careful not to mess up and do things right, that it may take you actually longer than it would have if you hadn't been so worried about it. So you may be very prone to procrastination, but they don't see this in like a negative way. Okay, so there are like negative aspects of it that they don't really that maybe they think that you should work on, but overall they think there's like this approach to life is what maybe I think has gotten you so far while experiencing relatively little damage. Like there are things that are obviously not not under our control that happen, but you have avoided situations bad situations simply because of your temperance, simply because of the way you are. You have kept yourself safe, and avoided a worse fate, so they see you as someone careful, but in like a good way. I also think that with the Temperance card, the way they're showing this to me, because they keep like moving my focus to like in the traditional tarot, the Temperance card has an angel with like 2 cups and balancing the waters. And they keep kind of like zooming into the hand. So I think they see you as someone who, like, you can actually, how do I explain this? It's like doing alchemy. So you can actually do things that maybe most people wouldn't be able to do, or many people wouldn't be able to do, because they don't have the patience to do so. So you are patient enough to make sure that not a single droplet spills. Okay, so you are putting all that energy in there and making sure that water goes from one cup into the other and doesn't actually spill, right? So let me get some of these to further elaborate on that. And you are also very they see you as very balanced, in the sense that you have come up with like a good way to incorporate your spiritual aspect of your life with your more physical 3D whatever, aspect of your life. So they're actually pretty balanced, and you struck a good balance there, and they think you're doing very good at that right now. So how do they see pile 3? Angel of New Life. I always like that card. It's like a little child. Again, they're going back to the children. I don't know why. So, please, one more. Bina, left eye, knowledge. So, where was that? Okay, I was putting it on the wrong side. So, yeah. With the Angel of New Life, it's funny that they use like the little baby thing to explain to me the concept of like how they see you. You may actually they feel like you approach most things in life with like the curiosity of a child, or with that same carefulness that you had from day one. So it's kind of like you approach every situation, even if it's a situation that you are accustomed to, you kind of approach it with caution nevertheless. Or, and like, but with caution, not in a negative way, it's more like in an explorative way. I think that at some point you learned that just because things seem like the same on the outside, it's not a guarantee that the situation is going to be exactly how it was in the past. I think this may, because the way they showed it to me, I think this may come from like you having to kind of walk on eggshells around certain people in your life, especially when you were little. And so that's not like a good situation, but I think that you carried that on with you into your life and into, the rest of your life. But it may be inconvenient at times, and it may delay you or make you procrastinate. It has overall had a positive impact on your life, and I don't think they want you to lose that explorative curiosity / caution that you experience with things, because I feel like it leads you to notice things that maybe some other people would miss. And also with knowledge, they see you as someone very knowledgeable, and if you don't know the answer to something, you go with your gut, and it's usually correct. So you may actually, like, when you're approaching a novel situation, you will use this is like a normal thing to do and most people do it, but it's like you consciously refer back to situations that were similar to inform how your next move should be. But you do this consciously. Most people do this in a subconscious manner. That's called like schemas in psychology. So you have like a reference for certain things, and that guides you, because our brain otherwise will be completely on overdrive. But you do that process kind of consciously and then you move forward. And also with knowledge, you may read a lot. Like, you may spend a lot of time in books. It doesn't matter what type of book you read. Even if it's like a book that you wouldn't, or most people wouldn't think of it as a book that would be helpful in any way, or to, or that would have any valuable information, you end up learning something from it. So I feel like it's almost like you're a learner of life forever, like a perpetual student. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to start shuffling to see what message they have for you. And also, like, something that they're saying is that a lot of things that you do intuitively comes from previous generations. So, for example, especially if there's like a spiritual practice that you have, sometimes, like, you intuitively know what a plant is used for, and then you're like, oh, I wonder if that's correct, and then you look it up and it is in the specific type of magic or belief system or folklore from your family, so you actually get it accurate. So maybe that's something that you should notice and continue to work on. So you have the Queen of Cups, and work on, not because it's not developed yet, just because, so you're able to do it more consciously and access it when you need it. So those are two. That is the Four of Cups. Yeah, I think they're touching on, so that's interesting, because I saw someone like doing a reading not that long ago, and they were talking about the Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups, and they said that it's like missed opportunities. And even though that's like, I think like traditional meaning of that card, I had never actually associated with missed opportunities, even though it's pretty obvious, because I have like my own interpretation of the cards. I kind of memorize like the general explanation of it, but I go off my intuition and how it works in the moment. I read all the cards together, so I don't really rely too much on the traditional explanations. Those are guidelines, they're not set rules, right? So they kind of explain that as missed opportunities. And I think that they're going back to what I said, that sometimes you can procrastinate and it can take you longer. So this sometimes may lead you to lose opportunities that you may have otherwise taken advantage of, because you were so into whatever it was that you were doing and being so careful about, that it's kind of like you didn't realize that these opportunities were passing you by. So I think that the message here is that they want you to kind of learn to get yourself out of that state, and to become more more connected to what's going on around you, and to these opportunities. So when you see them, so you're able to take advantage of them and accept the opportunity, instead of looking at it and be like, okay, but I'm doing this other thing, and I need to finish this thing, so I'm not going to look at it. That has kind of caused you to not get things, or get to do things that you may have otherwise been able to do, that may have been helpful for you. So that is just something to keep in mind. It's not to tell you, to make you regret everything that you've done, or to shame you or anything like that. It's just something good to keep in mind, because sometimes taking an opportunity, maybe it won't lead to anything, but maybe it sometimes will be helpful for you in some way, or maybe enjoyable or anything like that. And they don't want you to miss out on things just because you're so into this cautious, careful, patient, slow process that you have for many things. Okay, so it's kind of very much like, get out of your comfort zone. This may be how you do things all the time, but you don't have to do everything in this way all the time. So maybe they want you to kind of change that approach for certain things, analyze in what areas of your life this approach that you have has had negative effects, because it's not bad in every area of your life or at all times. It's just in certain situations. So it's important for you to self-reflect and notice when that happens. Okay. And the other thing I really like this year, because you have the Queen of Cups and the Empress. The Empress is like the mother of the tarot, and I would say that apart from the Empress, I would really associate the Queen of Cups with that as well, because the Queen of Cups is, emotionally mature and nurturing, loving and all of that, and so is the Empress. So I think they want you to do that for yourself, but also for other people around you. I'm hearing that sometimes you may you may ignore certain relationships in your life, or because you become distracted in some way, you become so absorbed in whatever you're doing, and this kind of deteriorates certain relationships over time. So I think they want you to nurture those instead, and also yourself. So because again, while this is good, it can easily swallow you up, right? And just keep you in that energy, and you don't really do anything else. So that's interesting, because my friend talked about this card earlier today. Well, I talked about it because in relation to something she said. So it's like, if you want something to work out for you, you actually have to nurture it into fruition, which I think this temperance here type of personality and approach to life that you have, I think that is very helpful in this situation. So maybe use that for this instead, or use it for for this for the time being, and see how things turn out. Because maybe we'll focus on not spilling the water, in the 2 cups. You maybe didn't see a cute fish on the stream, or maybe didn't notice that the current changed, or that there's something else in the water, or that the water is just pretty, like you can see the bottom of the lake and you can see all the fish and everything like that. So that type of thing. So they want you to kind of be able to learn to retract and widen your lens, and be able to focus on more, right? So let's get you one more here to see what else is their message. Oh, that makes sense. So you got surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. This card is clearly about enjoying life, but it's very much about being completely in touch with your needs and other people's, and just carefree. Like, that's the opposite of what has been coming up. It is a very carefree energy, and while it is important, again, to be cautious and to be careful and all of that, and just take your time, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your life a little bit more, because again, this may be kind of stressful. Like, even if you have always done it like this, it can create a certain degree of tension within you, because you're being so careful. So it may create this anxiety, right? So it would be good for you to not do that from time to time, and to actually allow yourself to have fun and to enjoy the situation at hand, instead of being focused on everything else. Again, this has been very helpful for you, and it will continue to be helpful, but they just want you to strike a balance between being that way and enjoying life a little bit more, being a little more carefree, and letting yourself loose from time to time, just in the same way that you keep a good balance between your spiritual life and your physical life, right? So that is like, I think, the main thing that's coming up here. And also with the Empress here and the Venus energy, Venus is also related to abundance, money, and that type of stuff. So this may be specifically reflected in those two areas of your life. So your financial the financial area of your life, and your relationships with other people. They don't have to be romantic. They can be platonic relationships as well. Just relationships with other people and your finances. So pay attention to that, okay? So that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Yes, I'm back on schedule. We're back in business, so I'm going to be posting next week. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do love my episode channel over there, and also my community tab. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. I wish you the best of luck on your I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and much love to you. Bye bye.